the computer. Hi, this is Vickie Hacking, and I welcome you to our Saturday morning meetup. I'm excited about today. I can't wait because I have two of the women that I admire so much that are going to be training us today. We have a lot of ideas that we're going to be sharing because Wylene is going to be taking us on a journey where we're going to be sharing ideas, and she's going to conduct that. We'll do that at the end of the meeting. I have to admit, last week I cut off the meeting too soon. So we're going to do that again because we had so many great ideas. So I think, Wylene, what is our subject? What is it called? How do we create sales? What are we going to do?
How do we build our clients? And I just asked everybody last week, just for one thought as to how they might get a new client. Delanna and I are talking about that. That is our topic Monday evening at 5 o'clock Pacific on Jackie's Zoom number. That's let's see, 101-700-599.
Yep.
So everybody be sure and join us because what we're doing is a little bit different than what everyone else has done.
I can't wait. I know. I think they've done some real fun things. So tune in on Monday night for that. Put that on your calendar right now. So Wylene, I'm not going to have you go right now. You're going to be at the last half of the meeting. But again, everybody that's on this call, would you be thinking about what you're doing to build sales, right? That's what we're going to be talking about, what they're doing.
To find new clients.
To find new clients. So you can come in and share your idea at the last half of this call. So I'm going to begin the call by introducing Sondra Farrington. I'm going to have her go first. Sondra did training for us last week, and you heard her talk. I just loved what she shared about how to do the hand facial. So I'm hoping that she'll do a repeat for us today because I don't know, she gave me credit, so that was really nice. I guess I am the founder of Back of the Hand Facial, but all of you have taken it to such great heights, that's for sure. So I'm going to take credit for establishing the idea probably 40 years ago. That's how old this idea is. But Sondra, she is in the airline business, and she is promoting this business wherever she goes. She gets to travel all over. She gets to go to hotels, and wherever she goes, she shares Jafra. So Sondra, take it away.
Thank you, Vickie. Yes, I do credit you for this. Every time I do this, I tell people about you and how you built businesses. And I didn't even realize till not too long ago that it started for you in California, and then you had to rebuild in Utah. And now you're rebuilding and doing a great job in Phoenix. So yes, I do give you credit. You are amazing for our company. So I'll make this a little bit shorter than I did the other night, but what I do when I introduce Jafra to new people is the back of the hand treatment, the Vickie Hacking back of the hand treatment, and I do the, or back of the hand facial, I'm sorry. And then I do the hand treatment, which is a softening hand and foot treatment that we have, that a lot of us have done at parties in the past as well. So I start with the Mask Revitalize from the Revitalize line, the volcanic polish, because it makes a huge difference when you put that on the back of the hand, one hand only, and I gently scrub it on, remove it, and then I have them look at both hands. And it really does, it practically changes the color of your hand. Of one hand because it's removing that dry dead skin. And then I use the Defy line because it's our most moisturizing line, and the hands are really dry, so it can really show them what it can do to the skin. Packed it all the way the other day. So I used the Defy line. That's the one in the dark color. And I just use one sentence for each item. I'll say, this is the cleanser that removes dirt and makeup from the skin. And I go right through it. I do make sure to show them about this active firming serum bottle, because it's really strange when you first get it. You think you've got a broken bottle. And Jackie Alves taught us that when you use this, you need to press that top down, then stick it in, then let go and pull it out, and you'll get your product. So I go through that on the back of the hand, all of those items. And then I always use one of our foundations, because we learned way back in the past that our makeup is not just makeup. In fact, we used to call it supertone. Because what it does is it tones the skin. It doesn't really hide anything unless you maybe layer it, and we can do that now with our makeup. I don't think layer is the right word, but use more layers of it.
I use layering. Yeah.
Okay, good, great. So, but what it's doing is it's holding in our moisture, and it's really keeping out all that icky, the pollen and smoke exhaust and all that stuff out there. It's protecting your skin. So it's really important part of the skincare line. And I usually just keep like 4 colors with me: the natural, the nude, the honey is almost like what our cashmere used to be. Our cashmere covered everybody, and it was just amazing. And so the honey I keep with me, and then I keep a sable, which is for darker skin. And then I put a little bit on the back of their hand, and they really are truly amazed at how their skin looks, and compared to the other hand as well. Then I give them the second half of my presentation of Jafra, and I still have the oil here. I actually got these bottles at Walmart. They're in the travel section, and there's 4 of them, and we have 4 royal oils. So I use one for each, the royal almond, the royal ginger, the royal rose, and the royal olive. That's actually the order that they came out to us, these different oil smells. And I let them smell each one, and then they choose which one they like, because some people really are really, well, with cologne and perfume, smells are important. And so I love all of them, but some people like some of them better than others. So I put a little in their hand this way. They've been used to me doing the back of the hand, because, and I also let them know that the back of the hand facial was for the face. That's why it's called the facial. Now we're doing inside the hand for the body care products. And I do make sure to let them know that this next part is the hand and foot treatment. So they can keep in mind that they can do this to their feet. So I give them a little oil. I tell them to rub it around their hands like lotion, not go down below the wrist, because they can get kind of carried away. So remind them just the hands, because that's all we're dealing with. And then I give them, I'm sorry I put it away, some of the ginger and sea salt body scrub. And I have them rub their hands around the same way, gently. Now make sure when you're using that, I don't know if I said this before, that you are over a trash can or a sink or something. And so, because if you get that on a floor or even like carpet or something, that oil is hard to get out, and it makes it slippery on a floor. So make sure they're over something that can take that, because it does scrub, the scrub parts come off.
We always used to do it at the kitchen sink when we were out. Yeah, and that was the perfect place, or the bathroom sink.
Exactly, that's right. Yeah, and the reason I say that is because now we're online, so we don't know where they're at always. So sometimes, yeah, we've given them some products to try, and then we're walking them through it. So make sure they don't get it on their floor or in clothes or things like that. Then I give them a little bit of any one of our shower gels. I just found out recently that our baby shower gels are fine for us to use. It never even dawned on me. And so any one of our shower gels, I usually use the Terra one. shower gel for whatever reason, and I give them a little bit of that and let them know that's the cleansing part of the hand and foot treatment. And then I make sure we rinse it off with warm water, warm as they want, because that's what really makes it feel like spa. And I make sure they are noticing how it feels as they're washing it off, because that is actually the most amazing part of the hand and foot treatment. And so they tell me what they're feeling, and usually it's, oh my goodness, I cannot believe how my hands feel. And then we pat dry like we would with a towel. Now, while I'm giving them all these 4 products, I tell them we're using them out of order, because normally you would use your shower gel first, or your scrub. And then, but the way I would do it is the shower gel, then the scrub, rinse off. But I tell them, you use your oil on your body before you ever even touch the towel. Don't even think about the towel. Put your oil on your body while your body's still wet. Then you take your towel and you pat dry, and that's your moisture. And if you want that smell to last longer, then you would put the lotion on after you pat dry. And that's my presentation. And then I usually, in my case, because I don't know when I'll see them again, I like to send them a copy of the monthly brochure and the 2020 catalog on their text and email. The 2020 catalog for me will not go unless I send it to email. It's just too big. So that way I've got that information as well. And that's kind of how I get, I was having trouble asking for the information. And so that's how I get it. I say, can I send you some books by your text and your email? And that's what my presentation is. Is there anything I left out that you guys can think of?
You know, Sondra, I love that idea that that's the way you get the contact information. Rather than saying, you know, you want to ask what's your cell phone number or whatever, you just say, can I send you a catalog? That is a perfect lead in.
Yeah, it helps me.
Yeah, I love that. I love the way you did that. I love all of these ideas that you're sharing with us that on how to present the products. And we can do this through Zoom parties. We can do this through Facebook parties, you know, and again, I like the way you're letting them have, you know, it's called sampling. It really is. Sondra, because you travel and you're in the airline business, so how do you approach people when you're going into the hotels? Tell us what happens when you go into a hotel.
Okay, well, when we go to a hotel, we are usually there anywhere from 10 to 19 hours. Just depends on our planes and what our planes' schedules are. And then they fix our schedules. We have AM crews and we have PM crews. And so our schedules are around what the plane is doing. I normally do AMs. And so that means my crew usually goes to dinner together. And so we'll go down to dinner, and I always try to keep at least one of each sample card with me, so that when the waiter or waitress comes around, you know, I can then kind of notice something. You know, we've learned the OCI from the Phillips, and I think we learned that from the Phillips, and that means observe, connect, and invite. So I will try to observe and see what's going on, and I really even observe acne now, because that's what brought me into Jafra, was acne. And so I will mention it. I'll say, hey, you know, I had the same problem you had. What are you doing for yours? You know, and I'll tell them what I've done for mine. Or if it's something else, I'll say, I love the way you do your eyebrows, or I love that color lipstick, whatever. Of course, we can't see lipstick now anymore, but whatever it is I'm observing. And then that kind of leads me into, I would love to give you a sample of the product that I am a part of, from the company I'm a part of. Or that's how I do it in the hotels. Remind me to share about how I do it with the flight attendants on when I'm with them. But that's what I do, is I will leave a sample, and then again I will say, can I send you our books through text? I say text or email if it's a complete stranger, because usually everybody is comfortable giving their email. And so I can send both books by email, and I can talk with them through that. But I like text as well, because you can kind of let people know, hey, I just sent you an email. Because if they're like, I've been in the past terrible about looking at the email, so busy all the time, and just terrible about doing that. Yeah. So that's what I do when I'm in the hotels. And I even have had waitresses, servers, I think I'm supposed to call them, I'm sorry, contact me and say, I love this. I absolutely love this. I am hoping we'll come out with the single little bags, the bags with the single device in them as well, so that we can share those a little more easier.
Yeah. I think any Defy sampler, any of the products. So one thing that I'm going to add to that, Sondra, that I'm sure when you're getting these leads where you're meeting people and asking for their email, and can you send them the catalog? What I do is I always label on my cell phone when I put that phone number in, I make sure that contact has a special name, like a lead, sponsor lead, or client lead, so that I always can go to my phone and pull up all of the people that I've met, that I've made contact with. So I'm gonna throw that in there for all of you, that you be sure to label. I used to label with a color like blue or red, depending on, but now I label, it's called sponsor lead,
Okay.
lead.
Yes, and can I just say, Vickie, you taught us that in Palm Springs. We were at a Palm Springs training by Mary Huckstead and Andy Jones. And you got up and you said, ladies, I do not understand why you're not using your cell phones for your entire business. And we were all like, that's a really good question. And so I actually have been doing that, again, because of you. That's why I said you're all of our grandmother when you said, I love being your grandmother the other day, because I've learned so much. And so now I do put in, I forgot to say that, I do put in lead or possible consultant or consultant. I have them all broken down so that I can pull them up together when I need something. And I adore that system. So thank you, Vickie, for that.
Our cell phone is our personal assistant, and now we have Siri. So
Yes.
I don't know. I'm on an Apple. I'm Apple all the way. But I always do it. Whenever anything happens that I need to remember, I go, hey, Siri, remind me. Hey, Siri, make an appointment. Hey, Siri, set an alarm. How do we remember all these Zoom calls? How do we remember all these things? I can't at my age, I just can't remember everything. So Siri, my Apple phone is my best friend. It is my personal assistant, and I use it constantly. And I have AirPods. We haven't talked about that, but I use AirPods. I'll do a thing on that. An AirPod is valuable, because you've got it right in your ear, and you can walk all over the house and do your business. You don't have to have that phone in your ear. So, Sondra, thank you. Did we cover everything? I'm trying to think about it.
Well, I did say the other night that there were 3 points that I had. And the first point was to decide what you want to share and be prepared. So get everything together and have it there. The second point was, what was that second point? Darn it. How did I word it? Shoot. The third point was do not prejudge.
It'll come to you.
Do not prejudge, because people say, no, she doesn't have any money. No, she's depressed. No, she's not reliable. Do not prejudge. Ask everybody. And I can honestly say I've had people that I've worked with where they're grumpy in the morning, and I think, I don't know. And then I go, but you have to just do it anyway. And I let them know that my manager has challenged me to do 10 of them. Would they be 2 of my 10? And I do not know my average results, but I do know that sponsoring is my strongest part of my business. And a lot of that is honestly based on Vickie and what she's done all her life in Jafra. And I knew when I heard her story that that's what I wanted. And so I'll have to look at my average results, because to be honest, sometimes I've got a great month and other times I don't. I wanted that laptop so bad, I couldn't even tell you. And I got one sponsor that month and did not get the laptop. And I was just going, yay, everybody, you got the laptop. And I wish I did. So, I'll have to kind of look at that and see what my average results are. Great question, Anne. But I know that in that second point, I had in parentheses to make sure that I was sharing the monthly brochure, the 2020 catalog, and the Action magazine. Oh, the second one was to share the bees. That's what it was. Share the bees, yes. And the bees are, make sure I say them in order again, although we're looking at kind of twisting the bees, but we learned them as buy, box, book, begin, and build. And so I kind of like doing it in that order, because buy and box, they're great, because I'm telling you, there are companies out there that are charging $300 for one size like this of cream. And so the buy, they get the entire Defy set at full price for $206. And then that's in the 2020 catalog. Normally then in the monthly catalog, it's down to $186. And so they're like, oh, they're impressed with it going down to $186. And then when we talk about booking, I tell them, that's kind of my quickest, that one and build are my 2 quickest explanations. Booking, I say, you invite your friends, I supply the samples, and we get on Zoom or Facebook and we have a real good time together. Then I go into begin, and that's where my heart comes alive. And I open up the Action. I show them whatever the monthly kits are. I show them the regular kits, and I say, these kits are always available to you. But these are the monthly kits that are available to you this month as a special, because I want them to know they're available to the end of the month. And then that's it. Those kits are going to be, gone. And then we talk about what the value of that kit is, and how they're giving you full-size products in that kit. And you get the beautiful bag that's coming with it as well. And so then I tell them, and when you do that, you have an option to either sell and make money and save money, or to just be like a preferred shopper, like Costco, but Costco only gives you a card. We give you products for your sign up. And I tell them that there is one requirement. And I say it exactly like that, because they're like, I knew it. And I say, you do have to order at least $5 retail. And I still say once a year. I know it's once every 2 years.
Yeah, I say once a year.
Yeah. And I think that's great that it's once every 2 years because it gives us a little leeway, but I kind of really don't want them to lose out on what's going on.
Right.
So I still say once a year. That's my requirement. So
Sandra, thank you. I've
Thank
learned
you.
so much from you. Wow, you just opened up your heart to us.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, thank you. Okay, now we're going to go to Pat Clover. She's another one of the women that I so admire in Jafra. She is on the President's Council. She has lots of credentials behind her, and she also is building quite a team back on the East Coast. And Shafika Miles is one of her leaders that is in her group. Pat Clover, where are you? I can't see. There you are. No, I can't see you. Are you there, Pat? Yeah, here she is.
Pat, unmute.
Pat, unmute.
Sorry about that, ladies.
That's
Shafika came
I'm
in.
gonna, before as I'm introducing Pat, I want you to know that I know why she's so successful. She doesn't sleep. She doesn't require sleep because she was texting me last night, and I believe it was probably 1 or 2 o'clock back on the East Coast, and she was still
yes.
up doing her business. So girl, you are an amazing lady. The fact that you don't require sleep, now I know that's one of the keys to success in this business. So take it away, Pat.
Thank you, Vickie. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. There's Shafika. She came in. So what we were doing just before you started to enter was shifting the chairs over so I could be in position to move forward. First of all, let me just say it's a great day in Jafra, and I am so thankful to be alive today. And I'm praying for all the people who are in the fires and praying their safety. I want you to know that by being alive, that I am a Jafra consultant. And that is so very special to me. I have my own business, and I love to live, laugh, share Jafra with the world. It's another day to feel thankful to God and be grateful for my family, friends, and neighbors. For this day, I am also filled with gratitude for the support of my Jafra company, consultants, and my awesome clients. Today is the day to be bold enough to defy all obstacles surrounding us and invite someone to join our sisterhood. But most of all, it's my everyday to be thankful to God. So thank you, Vickie, for having me to speak today. And I am praying that what I have to share with you today is going to be useful and impactful. I am Patricia Clover, and I've been in Jafra for 38 years come November. And I'm so excited about having, like I said, owning my own business. So let's get started. I kind of picked a topic. I'm not preaching, but I kind of picked a topic. And my topic today is mind your own business. Now, how does that make you feel? mind your own business. But minding our own business includes some of the following things that I will be touching on in my message to you. I decided not to go with the how to sponsor. Sondra does a great job of that, how to do sales. You know, we all do a great job with that. So I kind of want to flip the switch a little bit. Is that all right with you all?
You bet.
Okay, so the first thing is in minding your own business, you have to share the business. See, the mind that I'm talking about is up here. Okay? We have to learn how to focus and be a good communicator as well as a good listener. And to be a good listener, there's three things that, I think it's three things that is really important to being a good listener. And when you're out to share the business. Building, I'll tell you those later. we're going to talk about fielding preparation. Be prepared when you go out to field. The next thing that I will be touching on is having a business mindset. That's your paradigm. It's changing your paradigm, or keeping your paradigm if it's working for you, or adjust it if it needs to be. The next thing is performing under stress, because we are all under stress now. Grandchildren home, trying to teach them, children home, children coming back home, the economy, the whole situation we're in, just under stress. You know, some of us are taking care of our parents now, and don't think that we have time to do our business because we're inundated with stuff, right? Okay, so the next thing is I hope to give you a couple of power ideas to help build your confidence. Okay, then I will be touching on overcoming the I can't syndrome. I can't, I don't know how. Okay, we're gonna talk a little bit about that. And so that is how you mind your business. Okay, I like you when you smile, I like when you respond to me. So here we go. First of all, sharing the business. We know all the things. We do the fielding. We go out, we give out the little bags, ask people if they would like to have a gift. You don't have to tell them what you're doing, just say, would you like to have a gift? And they go like, yes. All your information, you all know what to put in these bags. So everybody I see on here do. And one of the things I always, because it's really inexpensive to do, and I'll do more of this on Monday, is tissues. And I found some tissues. If you look real carefully, you can find them. This one says, find your fearless. Find your fearless. It sends a message. You'll hear about that a little bit later. So when you share the business with someone, you are transforming a life. That's powerful. That's real powerful. And you have the opportunity to influence, encourage, and change a person's life, as Vickie has changed so many of our lives. And by being a Jafra consultant, being a leader, and being an ambassador, we have learned so much for Vickie, and for that I am grateful. So when you do this, you offer somebody else an opportunity. You not only transform their lives, but you influence and transform the lives of their children, their neighbors, their families, to strangers, all of these things, educators, everything, our flight attendants, just all of the people that are near that person. When you touch them and transform their lives, you will never, ever, ever know how many lives you have transformed, okay? Because it's transferable. You teach it. You do this, do it, and share it with somebody else. It's called paying it forward, all right? All right. Now, let's talk about fielding preparation. We're going to just do that briefly. And in the mind, the first thing that well, let me ask you this. You can raise your hand, and I'm a very interactive person, so raise your hand and wave if you ever think about something that you can't do. Okay, I see some hands. Okay, many of us have things that we can't do, and that is because we have to change our mindset and our paradigm. So how do we do that? We use our listening ears. When we're out there fielding, we not only have to be prepared to give them something, a gift or whatever, but we have to be able to listen. It's the most important thing in the world to me, is to be able to listen. Why and how do we listen? We listen with our eyes. So we're looking at the person we're talking to. We listen with our ears so that we're not interrupting and trying to tell them everything in the world that you learned about Jafra in 5 minutes, okay? And so you listen with your ears. The next thing you do is you have to engage the brain. Engage your brain before you engage your mouth. Because what comes out your mouth, we can't put it back in. We just can't put it back in. Sorry, okay? We take out a jar of mayonnaise out of the refrigerator, we can put it back in, right?
Right.
So, okay, so those are the things for active listening. You can hear, you can multitask and things like that, but for active listening, you have to be really alert and paying attention to the person. So that is one of my strengths that I have, because I can help anyone who want to be helped to start a business. I've met people in a gift shop, never touched Jafra, never heard of Jafra, but sponsored them. And it's all because of what you hear and then acting after you formulate it in your mind, repeating what they're saying, you formulate it in your mind, and then you're ready to move forward and help that person. And also being ready, and the yes, I can comes from faith. It's faith-based with me, and I do believe that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That's my belief. So I know that when I go out or when I see someone and I'm going like, oh, I don't know if I should say anything to her or whatever, I'm going, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So I kind of keep that in my mind. The next thing is when you're fielding, keep a portable file box or a computer case or whatever you may have at all times. Mine is, uh-oh, somebody moved it. Excuse me. Okay. I think that somebody was me. This is my filling case, and it has rollers on it. So if I have to go into a event, I could carry that with me. But it has everything that you need to do your business. Now, what Pat needs to do her business and what Wylene needs to do her business or Marilyn may be totally different from me. So you're going to make your files based on what's good for you. So in my roller, I have a file for all my consultants. It stays there wherever I go. It stays with me. I have another file for ideas on sponsoring if I'm sitting someplace and want to refresh in my mind of what I'm doing. I have a file for, right now, one I just put in here. Oh, here it is. I just put this one in here. Do y'all remember the memory jogger? Okay, so this one I put on color paper according to the seasons. And then on the back, I'll ask the person, are you giving gifts out for your company when they come for Thanksgiving dinner or whatever? This goes into the bags when the children come past the house. I know trick-or-treating may not be, it's kind of secular, but we have fall festival, so we're just still giving children candy. So, but I put it in. My husband stays here most of the time. I'm at church, but he puts them in the bags. The next thing is to be ready. Be ever so ready to hear the words N-O. No. If your mindset is not set to accept the no because you want to take it personally, forget that. It's not personal. And guess what else? No does not mean forever, right? Some people think that no says no, and you just leave them alone. You don't do anything else. Like, okay, no means not right now, perhaps. And that's my question back to them. Do you mean not no forever and ever, or do you mean no, not right now? And they most than likely they would say, no, not right now. Then I said, okay, then is there some time that we can get together? May I call you back? And will you call me back? And I'll mark that on the card. And that's with the fielding card. And you're going to hear a little bit more about that. I won't do a lot on that because of Monday's training. Now, the next thing, so no's are not permanent, okay? They're not permanent. If you flip the no to on, the next time you talk to that person, you might be on. They may be on board. You know, they may be ready. So keep that in mind. The next thing is, oh, I just told you that. I jumped my own notes, but keeping everything in your car. Catalogs are in there, old and new. Okay, if you're just dropping them off at a laundromat or running into the store and purposefully accidentally leave them on the counter, you know, then someone will pick them up. Doctor's office, things like that. Then always have your sample gifts bags and your fielding cards. And one other thing that I have in the last, well, I guess since January it was, I started including the Action magazine in my orders carefully. And oh, my battery is going down. Shafika, the plug. I'm sorry. So, okay, yeah, I think, sorry you all. So I'll keep on going. Shafika, plug it in over here for me, please, in the socket over here. Okay, so so that's that. And then you're ready to get going, okay? Your magazines, your samples. And the other thing I do with the Action magazine, I always make sure that the people who are getting ready to go inactive in our, thank you, inactive in our district and et cetera, that I send them an action. And I remember once when said that the action is not for clients, it's for us as leaders and consultants. But I find it extremely helpful. If there's something that's private in there, then that's one thing. But if I'm sitting down at a coffee shop with someone, then I want them to also see what I'm doing. And if they show the interest or sign up, they definitely keep their copy with you. But this is not a free for all for wherever, okay? All right. The next thing is to have your, having a business mindset, okay? Know your payee. Know your payee. Know who's paying you. And here's a reality check. You may or may not agree with me. And you may have some, like I have some, that this does not apply to. But for the majority, your family and your peers are your community, and they're not your payee. Does that make sense? They're not your payee. They're not the ones that's gonna be paying your bills, paying this, paying that. You go to them every time you need something. You need to sponsor somebody, you responsor, blah, 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 blah. You know, they're not your payee. And, but they can be your business partners, and they also can be a client. I just had my daughter, she wanted one of the new sprays, and she wanted to take it off my shelf. And I said, no, you need to pay for it. Okay, so she has her Jafra account. If she doesn't want to order on her Jafra account, which she set it up herself, then, oh well, you do one of two things. Pay me, or, that's tough love, or order it for yourself. So she said, Mom, I'll give it to you on Wednesday. Nope, come Wednesday with your money. And that's what we did. So the next thing, casual conversation speaks to the heart. When you're out there, have casual conversations. Don't try to tell them the business plan, the marketing strategies. You need 4 people and $2,400. I'm gone. I don't want to hear that right then. I want to know. I want to build a relationship, right? I want to know how you feel about sales. Maybe you've never been in sales, and I start talking about you need this and this. And if you look and they're looking for money and they don't have any money, how are they going to do $400 to pay for it? But hello, Jafra, for you know what, we all know now, right? You had a whole month to do it. Okay, so casual conversations, talk from your heart, use plain English. Use plain English. They don't know what the BIR is. And yeah, and then you'll be able to look on your BIR and know what everybody's doing. What is a BIR? Why are you having that conversation with a person you just met, you know? And the other part is what I call the DIY. Do it yourself. If you can do something yourself, do it yourself. Some of us, of course, can train other people how to do things for us, but do think about doing things yourself. Okay? The next thing is to be approachable. Meet people where they are. Meet people where they are, not where you want them to be. Some will, some won't. So what? And what's the last one? What's next? Goals. Having your business mindset again. Goals. Goals, goals, goals. Goals should be daily, weekly, monthly, and annually. So you know where you're going. Okay? So in that, there are 5 whys. Why should they be in those different ways? Some of you may have seen me do some things with my hand. I love my hand. I love being able to talk about 5 things with my hand. So for your goals and why you need those, here's the first W. It's why. Why do I want it? The second one is what. What is it that I want? The next one is when do I want it? And the next one is with whom, it's a double W, with whom do I want to do it with? And then the last one is, the 5th one is to write it down. Boy, have I been out of space. I thought that I could keep everything up in here, but as I get younger and younger, I certainly do appreciate the writing it down and understand why we write things down. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is performing under stress. Mind, we're talking about the mind your own business, stress. Think of a high pressure moments as fun challenges. Don't think of it as, oh, I can't do this. This is gonna take forever. Just think of it as a challenge. Make it a fun thing to do. And if not, what's going to happen is that your energy is going to be sapped up. Sometimes it's the same people, the same, and they just don't do what they think, what they say they're going to do. But see, that's them. And we have to realize that's not us. So being under the stress thing, a lot of times it interferes with our short-term memory. Okay, might be why I'm up in the middle of the night to remember what I did. So, but all these things, it affects your judgment. It elicits fear of failure of success, and not only failure of success, but of success. Some people are afraid of success. They don't know how to handle it. So all these things can be things that ruin your day, ruin your activity, your business, or whatever it is, family, whatever. So this is one of the ways, the mind statement I want to give you for building confidence. So focus on you and what you really want, not what someone else wants for you or what they have done. Don't focus on them, focus on you. Don't play the question games with your mind. As leaders, don't speak things into the atmosphere that will cause you to stumble and fall. So expect, though, to fail. I don't know of any invention or anyone who has been extremely successful, if they are honest with you, can tell you that they never failed. It's only one person thing I know that never fails, okay? You would get it right. If you keep doing it over and over again, you eventually get it right. So don't quit on yourself. When I ask people to come into the business, I ask them never to quit. Some do, but I got a whole bunch of them that never quit. Even though they may place an order once a year, twice a year for themselves, they never quit. So get ready to say to yourself, why not me? Well, why am I asking myself, why not me? What have I done so that I wouldn't have to ask myself, why not me? I could have, I should have, I would have if. Those are things that kill your spirit and kill your mindset and your goal achieving. Know that there is something called good stress. Okay, some people work under pressure. That's why a lot of us on the phone at midnight, the last day of the month, trying to find that other person to achieve that goal. Guilty. Anyone else guilty? Anyone else? Okay, great. Those of you who didn't raise your hand, I'm glad you're not guilty. That's a good thing because you have your things in order. But does pressure motivate you? Does a good challenge motivate you? Yeah, you can get good results, but sometimes you can get results, but they could have been better results if you had maybe like planned it out, started a little bit earlier and really was determined. So the next thing is don't dwell in negative paths. Don't dwell in the negative paths, like things that didn't go well or could have been avoided. Avoid complaining and comparing or allowing yourself to compete with others. Stop that. You don't have to do what somebody else did because they did it. You have your blessings. Your blessing or your blessings, theirs are theirs. But you certainly want to move forward and get their advice. And that's by not being afraid to ask. Have an attitude of gratitude in all situations. And don't blame others who don't perform in ways that are beneficial to you. See, if she or he would only do this, or I don't have people who want to, release all of that stuff. Stop blaming others for, what you may or may not be doing. And then give others credit when they do something and you can benefit from it. Just like Sondra did with Vickie. Of course, it's a good thing. Release all your negative thoughts, turn them into positive thoughts. When you are negative, you become toxic to everyone around you. That's a big word, toxic. And I have to tell you that I never would have put it in a presentation that I was doing. But I lost control with my hubby the other day because I was trying to do something and he kept asking. And I said, would you please just stop it? Just like that. And my grandson said, Grandma, you're being toxic to Papa. So I went like, oh, okay. He saw me in an element that he doesn't usually see me in. So he told me I was being toxic. So I said, wow, that's kind of powerful. So
Hey, Pat, we've got about 2 minutes before we need to put Wylene on. So we need you to give us a closing.
Okay. So we're going to wrap that up. We're going to talk about your attitudes, be positive, do things that will help you to be positive. Dance before a mirror, listen to music. Music clicks off a response in the brain and dancing. Put a rubber band, pop it when you say something negative. And let's see, smile. Yes, you can. If I do smile, you will smile. Set yourself up to win. And give yourself rewards for you and your family when you make those accomplishments. All right. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you so much. I sat here and I just took it all in, and it was like such a motivational, all this advice, all this wonderful advice that you're giving to us. I loved it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Clover. Thank you for just taking the time for us today. Okay, Wylene, I'm going to turn the time over to you and take it away.
Okay, well, Monday night, Delanna and I are going to be talking about how to build your clients. And so I just would like for all of you just to share with us one thing that you really find successful in how to build your clients. Sondra has already kind of shared with us a little bit about how she is approaching getting new clients. I I would be a little bit curious as to how you initially approach someone into the conversation. Um, just how do you boldly approach someone?
Me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Well, for the flight attendants, it's kind of easy because we have 3 days together.
Mm-hmm.
But I try to start, well, my goodness, my laptop needs to be plugged into. But I usually start with them with the challenge from my manager that I get on a regular basis for the 10. And they're always very helpful with that. And that gives me that bolder way to approach them. Plus, it's doing something nice for them. A regular client, my mom called me yesterday while I was running some errands for her, and she said, I want this special thing from Applebee's. It just came on TV. And I said, okay, I'll figure it out and I'll go get it. I had the most darling car side young man that came out, and each time he left the car, he'd say, you stay awesome. And I thought, I want him in my branch. He is amazing. And so I quickly got out some samples because I didn't know what kind of skin he had. And I just said, hey, I said, how are you and your friends doing with wearing the mask all the time? Because they're in and outside, and we all are, and it's very hot in Arizona. And I said, do you have any that are dealing with any breakouts or anything? He goes, yes. And I said, okay. I said, well, I'd love to give you a little gift, a sample of our product. And I said, I don't know what kind of skin you have. He said, well, more normal to oily. I said, okay. And I gave it to him. And he said, oh, he goes, that's what's on your mask, Jafra. And I go, yes. And I said, it's awesome. I said, my website's on there, and they were really very busy. So I really did, I failed at asking him for his information, but I thought that's okay. He's in that age group that does look at websites. I said, you can contact me in all my information's there and on the website. So I kind of just make myself do it. Mm-hmm. But then when I see somebody that I go, ooh, I want that person around me in my branch, I will just kind of open my mouth and ask. And that's really the thing I've had to, like Pat said, get into my mindset that, I've got to do it. Like I told people the other night, they're not going to come to me and ask and knock on my door and go, do you have a card? Mm-hmm. I have to do it. I'm the one who has to do it. So all that training from Pat was fantastic. I have 4 notes of it. And
I know, it's great.
Yeah.
So DeLanne, you had a situation happen. Why don't you tell us what happened? And she did a video on it too. Now remember, everybody, I post everything on my Vickie Hacking's team on WhatsApp. So I did post the video that DeLanne did. So go ahead, DeLanne, tell us what happened.
Well, it was a hot day here, and I'd been working in the garden all day long. I was a hot mess. And so of course, you have to, anyway, I needed stuff. So I ran to Lowe's looking like a hot mess. My hair was all crazy. I was all sweaty and stinky and all sorts of stuff. And good thing I had a mask because it covered most of the stuff. Anyway, I ran into Lowe's and I met 2 employees that were so phenomenal that I had to offer them, I happened to have my purse, of course, I offered them some samples of the Jafra skincare, and they were so excited. And I went back and I booked a party with the gal. I don't think Wylene knows this yet. No. I booked a party with the gal, and her name's Susie. I booked a party with her next Saturday. And the guy, Travis, his wife is looking into becoming a consultant. So there you go. And I was all scary. I was stinky and scary, and it doesn't matter. You can share Jafra even if you stink and look all crazy.
Videos are hilarious. You've just got to come Monday night and watch them.
This is crazy. So yeah, and I didn't even think about that because I was looking for a bench that I had seen the day before, and it was the last one on there, and I was running around and I had my, jeans on with cut off jeans and dirty knees and stuff. And I thought I could go back and I said, no, I'm just doing it as I am. And it worked.
Mm-hmm.
And they expect people to look like that. And that's how we look when we go to Lowe's. So,
Karen, you're a new one. What are you doing to get clients?
Well, I was telling Vickie this a little bit in the beginning. I've been going through Facebook and just kind of throwing out the hook, inviting everybody that I can. I'm being a little careful because I'm not inviting the men in particular, unless they're, it's somebody that I know. But most of the people, I have no clue who they are. I've invited them to like my page. And if they do, then I contact them back through Messenger. I'm doing all this through Messenger. And I say to them, since you like my page, thank you so much. And I'll thank them on my page for liking it. And I'll say, would you like me to send you some samples and maybe a brochure? And I've had so many people respond back, yeah, sure. I've actually even had gals that are selling other products, skincare products from like New Skin that, I don't know if they're looking to just compare or what, but when I told them a little bit, I tell them a little bit about the bee thing, and kind of leave them hanging about why is it all about bees? And so then when I send it out to them, I do what we've been talking about before, I cut the Defy brochure in half, and I tried to do it as economical as possible. So I put that in there. I put a personal note from myself, and I tell them that I'm going to follow up with them in maybe a week. And I do ask them for their email, and I ask them for their phone number so I can text them. But the email is real important, or I just get back to them on Messenger. And the thing with Messenger is too, when they like my page, I can go back and look at their profile on Facebook to see if it's somebody that I really want to engage with, or it's somebody that I don't.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to be a little careful with it, but actually my first and only consultant that I've sponsored so far was somebody that I met on Facebook. I've never met Karen face to face, and we speak all the time, but it worked.
Yeah.
So I keep trying.
Doncella, what do you do?
Oh, I had to unmute. I give out, I don't go out a lot because I watch my grandkids, but we do Instacart, or we receive Instacart a lot. So when people, I don't know if I'm stalking them or not, but when people deliver the groceries, I have a packet that I have ready for them. It's usually a book, and it's usually a skincare, sample of some type. And they're usually in a hurry because they're on a schedule. So I have a little spiel that I tell them, oh, thank you for bringing the groceries. You did a great job. And I like to give you something in return. So I give them this little packet that I have set up by my door. And then I ask them, if you don't mind, give me your information. Some do, some don't, but they have all my information. And a couple have gotten back to me. So I'm trying to build my clientele that way, as well as I have some neighbors. Like one lady, she helped me out a lot not too long ago. So I created a packet for her and I delivered it to her. And then I had more time to tell her about the products. I'm hoping to, recruit her as a consultant. So that's basically what I do right now.
Okay, great.
Wylene,
Yes.
one thing that I always like to do is that when I walk into a store, doesn't matter where I'm going, I just like to get a conversation going. I just think that before, you don't have to have a tag, you don't have to come on with with some kind of like, oh, I'm selling Jafra or whatever. You just need to talk to people, and then you need to listen to what they're saying intently. And then usually compliment them. Do you like working here? You're doing a great job. It's sincere. Has to be a sincere compliment. It has to come from your heart. But if you just sit there and intently listen to them talk, you're going to find an opening, you know, and that's what you do. You just kind of talk to people and you find that opening. Where does it fit in? All of you are doing it. But I think it's important to just talk to people. When you go out of the house, even if you, like Deland, you didn't look your best, doesn't matter. You're just meeting people and talking to people and looking for, sometimes it might not even come up. You might not get that opening, but at least you're out there putting yourself out there and you're talking. And I think we have to do that also on Facebook Live. I'm going to just tell you all the ones that I am listening to, and both Karen and I are getting up the courage to do it. I don't want you to think I'm an expert at this part. I'm not. But I'm getting up my courage by listening to all of you to go Facebook Live. And I think next week is going to be the week. So look out. Next Saturday, I'm going to talk about it. But I'm going to pledge to you that this week I am going to go Facebook Live and make it happen, because that's where all the action is taking place.
Great. Okay. Well, I think that we're about 5 minutes past our hour. So Vickie, I'll turn this back over to you.
Well, thank you, Wylene. I'd like to do this again next week to find out from all of you. I love the way you just, and be prepared because Wylene's going to call on you. Okay. She's not shy. And I want to remind you all again that tomorrow night, Wylene, give us another commercial on that, please.
Okay. Yeah. Monday evening, 5 o'clock Pacific time, 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock. Sorry, Eastern girls, you get kind of put on. But Deland and I are doing our trainers are one of the 18 trainers that we've been so honored into participating with. And so our focus is going to be how to build your client base. And so hopefully at the end, we'll have a little bit of time. I've asked Shafika to talk a little bit about, and that's why I didn't ask you today. She's going to talk a little bit about how she approaches the men clients. And then Pat, I have revised my little paper here. But I've also asked her to touch a little bit because she uses a survey sheet similar to this as well. And so I've asked her to touch just very briefly, and then we'll have everybody to put comments in. And then toward the end, hopefully we've got about 15 minutes to then follow up and do a Q&A.
Okay, well, I'll be there, that's for sure.
I'll be there too.
Yeah, and will you, Dee? I think you ought to show up. I think that'd be important.
Okay.
Okay, I want to remind everybody also that I loved the leader meeting last week. I loved, and I also loved the sponsoring joy meeting that we had on Thursday, where we had Hannah and her husband, Glenn. If you miss those, you really need to make a little checklist that you want to watch those this week. I'll put the recording. Remember, I try to post things all the time on my Vickie Hacking's team. So if you need an invite, because it is an invite to a WhatsApp group and you're not on, just send me a text. My number is 801-710-4483. Text me and I'll send you an invite to the WhatsApp, because I do put a lot of things there. And then for those of us that are leaders, make sure you go to the Amber Leader Team so that you're checking in all the time, at least once a day, and finding out, because there's so many good ideas that are posted there. There's so much going on for training with Jafra. I just love it. I have to tell you that since we had this terrible COVID tragedy, it is a tragedy, but you know, good comes out of tragedies, because for me, the good that came out of it is the fact that I love the way we're doing the Jafra business. I have been in Jafra 55 years, and I have to tell you, it's never been better for me than it is right now. There's so much support. There's so much help. I love doing the meetings and connecting with all of you. I've never been able to connect with all of my friends across the United States like this. I've usually had to get on a plane and travel or do a telephone call. I get to see you. I get to feel your spirit. I get to feel your energy, and I love it. So I'm going to just say thank you, COVID, for making this possible. Even though it's a tragedy, good comes out of, I guess I want to say evil. Good comes out of evil. I mean, because this is just wonderful what we're doing. And the sales are soaring. We're selling more Jafra now than we've ever sold. So we've been blessed. And I've been blessed by your friendship and all the kind things you say to me. I thank you. I didn't realize, Sondra, that I don't know. I just don't think about touching people's lives that way. So it's made my day. It's made my week. And I thank you all for being my friend. So if you have any questions for me, you know, you can always text me because I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. So I'm going to just do my business online. And this week I'm going to do a Facebook Live, and Karen's going to do one too. Huh, Karen? We're going to do one together. We're going to take that commitment. So have a great week. I hope that you received some energy. How could you not receive energy from this wonderful training call with all the inspiration that Pat gave us and Sondra sharing her soul with us? She told us how she's doing the business. We can't get any better than that. So thank you to all my friends for helping me today. Thank you, Wylene, for being there, Deland for always being there to support me. And we'll see you next Saturday. Okay, go out and make something good happen. And if you have anything that you want to share, this is your last moment.
Vickie, don't you have a YouTube channel too?
Oh, thank you. I have a YouTube channel. You just go in and YouTube and check for Vickie Hacking, and I post everything there that we do. All these meetings are posted there, and oh, they're so good. I love it. Thank you for your energy. Anything else that we need that we're forgetting before I say goodbye and cut off because last week I was at the beach and I cut the recording off too soon. So I'm saying, is this it, Deland? Are we finished?
I think we're done. How about you?
I don't know. I just want to make sure that I've cut the recording off at the right time. We'll see you next Saturday. Take care. I love you all. Thank you.
Bye, Vickie.
Take
Don't
care.
forget Monday.
God bless. See you Monday night.
Bye.
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 Bye. What's someone saying?